Dennis Forabundu, MDG, aka Menace Da-General, aka My Dearest Gift, is a talented native of Freetown, Sierra Leone. He migrated to the DC metro area with his family in the year 2000. MDG is a rapper, singer, a songwriter who does music in both his native language Creole and also in English. An artist in every sense of the word, MDG is also a gifted and passionate fine artist whose colors, when he paints, are as vibrant as his spirit. Never forgetting his roots and the struggles he overcame as a child. MDG is an inspiration to many as he is a well-known humanitarian and a huge advocate for children's education and wellness. Menace's versatility in songwriting, singing, and rapping makes him stand from the pack. Listen to his music, one will feel the passion and hunger of a dreamer. Menace is also a 2010 graduate from Norfolk State University with a BA in Fine Arts and a minor in Business Education. This is Real Talk with Aline TV show. I'm your host, Aline Keister. I'll be right back after this.
So let's watch the Real Talk with Aline TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Aline Keister.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Aline TV show. Of course, if you just walked in right now, the show just started, and guess who I have in the building? Menace Da-General, my dearest gift, aka Mr. Formula. Welcome, Menace. Welcome.
Hey, Ellen. Thanks for having me.
You know, Menace just had the biggest show in the DMV, you know. I think right now he's feeling himself like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
You already know.
Look at you swagging up. I love your shoes. Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Did you
Custom made. Yes, I did. Check this out. You see the
You haven't done mine yet. What's wrong with you?
I got you soon, after the show.
After the show, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, after the show, Menace got me, of course, Formula. Now, the new thing, you know, I'm so excited and so happy for you. First of all, congratulations on the big show. Everybody knows about the show. Everybody's talking about the show.
Yes.
You know, and now, guess what? People fall in love with Sierra Leone music all over again in the DMV.
Yes.
And guess what? I was a part of it. I am happy.
Of course. Yeah. Teamwork.
I know, right? Menace, you've been in the DMV for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, you've been doing songs for a minute. But this is your first big show.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
It's a wonderful feeling. Because at the end of the day, that's every artist's dream, you know, to stand in front of your crowd, your fans, your supporters, you know, and giving them the best of your creative mind, you know, in person and not just behind the screen or, you know. So yeah, it's a wonderful feeling, and I wish that for every passionate and hardworking artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
When's gonna be your next show? Because people get carried away.
Soon.
Really? See what I'm saying?
Yes. We're not wasting no time. We jumping right into it. So pretty soon, you know, we'll have dates out there for upcoming shows. You know.
Okay. When did you really get into music, though?
Man, that's a long story, man. Music has always been a part of my life. So I grew up in a home of I wouldn't say musicians, but folks that were into sound. Okay. You know, I grew up in a gospel home, a Christian home where half my family members were into gospel, you know. And so that's how my introduction to music started, you know, and then, you know, school, obviously. And it just grew from there, you know. My dad as well, you know, everyone, you know, it's a bunch of different connections with sound, you know. I guess you can hear it from my music as well, because it's different type of music, from gospel to reggae to rap. It's not just one type of sound that influenced Menace Da-General. Okay. I always tell people when I started, I was a dancer because I was mimicking Michael Jackson.
Wait, hold on, pause. Are you serious?
Yes. So a lot of people don't know
show me
that.
my moves first back quick.
Yeah, when I get Michael Jackson.
You got Michael Jackson? Yes. Oh my God.
But my bones are too squeaky now for that, you know, so... Yeah, but I'm just all around, you know, entertainer. I love music. I love sound, you know. Yeah.
Would you say that's where you got your inspiration from? Or, you know, I mean, where did you get it from?
Well, a bunch of different artists. Definitely the legends like the Michael Jackson, Bob Marley. Nas is my favorite rapper of all time. Okay. And then the legends from Sierra Leone, of course. You know, we can go down the list of the greats, you know, like the Pupa Banja. I think Pupa Banja is probably... my biggest inspiration when it comes to Creole rap.
Creole rap, okay.
I can vividly remember when I first heard Grap and Clap. That was it for me. Because I never, thought that Creole rap can sound that amazing.
That really,
that entertaining, So obviously the YOK, the entire Dry Crew.
Okay.
And a bunch of other rappers at the time, So yeah, it's a bunch of people that influenced me, I love music, so yeah.
And you're gonna be doing it for a minute.
Oh yes. Music is a career now, and I'm hoping it just keeps soaring to new heights,
Right, and it's not even about the rapping part for you. You're also like an engineer as well.
Yes.
You wear a lot of hats. You have multiple talents.
I do.
You know what I mean? A songwriter, a singer, and of course the engineering part. I know you have your degree and things like that.
Yeah.
Which one do you really enjoy though?
Oh, definitely. I love the music, the vocal part of it. Me being an artist. I wish I could just focus on being an artist because all the other areas of creativity that I do have was to enhance my music. Okay. For example, I'm a video editor. I didn't just.
Oh, I forgot that part.
Yeah, I didn't just start editing videos because I wanted to, but just so I can enhance my music.
Okay.
So I'm a music engineer. I started so I can save money and not keep going to studio and paying $30-$40 an hour, so I can save, Okay. And I do a bit of graphic designing so I can create my own flyers, So everything, encompasses my sound. It comes back to the sound, I do it all, and I also give back. It's not only for me, but I also try to help others in the industry, like fellow artists. Okay. I've shot a couple videos for fellow artists. I've done a lot of graphic work for fellow artists. I've done, a bunch of promotional stuff for fellow artists. Yeah, it's just part of contributing and giving back to my industry.
All right, cool. So how many albums do you say you have on your belt right now?
I have 2 solid albums. So my first debut album was back in 2010, and that's what a lot of people know me for. Okay. With the hit record Drink Te like back in the days. So that album was titled The One, and it's pretty good. Loved it. Even though I felt like it didn't really fully reach its potential. Okay. But then again, it's all good, And then after that, I released a mixtape. So I have a bunch of music out there. Waiters was the mixtape that I released in 2012. And then moving forward, I released a bunch of singles, a bunch that could have been an album or 2, Okay. And then now to Formula, which is my second debut, second album, not debut, second album. And that's why I overdosed my fans with 28 tracks because I felt like it was long overdue.
Okay, you just bombarded
everything.
You mentioned the album, the first one, of course, Drink Te Alaki, was a hit song. And then, in other words, for the Sierra Leonean fans, they feel like you disappeared.
Yes.
I mean, we know you were working because social media, of course, is really turned into something else. But prior to that, so it was more like, okay, Menace has this hit, and then there was no Menace anymore. Yeah. And I know you were struggling for a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
It was more so about creating the hits.
That's right.
Or whatever it is, you were going to school.
Yeah.
I mean, that gap. Yeah. Why did you, make that gap so long, though?
Yeah. Well, you kind of answered that question as well, because Ellen, you and I know how tough it is to be in an industry that's still growing. It's not fully developed yet, And again, shout out to every single artist out there that's trying, hardworking artists, because I know how tough it can be. So the fans obviously don't fully understand the concept that for the most part, we are independent artists. We don't really have the full management that we deserve to compete with the rest of the world, per se. So when I released my first album, after that, it was what's next? It's all on me. It was pretty much just a popularity, but no reinforcement. Okay. So it took a toll on me. So I had to regroup. Because let's not forget, it takes a lot of finances to be an artist. It's not a cheap game. Put it that way. It's very expensive, you know, and if you work it right, it can be very lucrative as well, you know. But so I had to figure that, you know, business aspect of music, you know. So that's when I know it took a long time. I went on this 5 to 6 years hiatus, you know, but I felt the growth because I grew, you know, I matured, you know. But now musically, I was still a badass. Excuse my language. I was still a beast. The music never left. That I can tell you for a fact. I was still a beast rapper. I was still a good writer. You know, I was still I did everything right. It was still good. But it's not just about releasing songs, you know. You know, for like sometimes we have the fans out there, you know, I mean, we salon fans them, oh, these artists, you don't lost, music don't left. I know that's not the case. Right. It's just about how to present it to the world so it can reach their highest potential.
And I think that affected you a little bit because at one point, it got to the point where when people were talking about like the top 5, top 10 rappers, they never really mention your name. And I know you took it personal because you actually went on Facebook like, how can you have a top 10 and Menace is not part of it? You know, I'm sitting there like, okay. You know, but you know, people just go with the flow. For me, I know, of course, you're a great rapper. It's the fact that you weren't available. And then you have all these new rappers coming in. And then at the same time, you're trying to prove this point.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I think that really affected you. It seemed like you were struggling a lot.
It did.
You know, how were you able to get over it?
Yeah, so I'm very competitive, and like you mentioned, you know, when I do music, obviously at the end of the day, I'm big on reputation. I'm big on, you know, respect, you know, because I know I work hard day and night. Like my gift for sound, it's not just based on talent; it's also based on hard work, you know. So when I see you know, people talking about rappers from Sierra Leone, I mean, with arts, I can never sit here and say I'm the best rapper, but at least I'll put myself up there with the elites, you know, and say I'm that good. So when it's a challenge, but I love the challenge. It pushed me. It made me better. You know, when I would hear or see a list of the top rappers in Sierra Leone, you know, and I'm listening to their records, and I'm like, okay, that's dope, but how can I make mine better? Right. You know, so I can get on that list, you know. Well, it's not so much about the list. It's just about respect again, you know. So the people of Sierra Leone can understand that there's a dude out there that's representing the green, white, and blue, you know, named MDG, you know. And I felt like I proved that point already at this point in my life.
But you did. I mean, like you said, you're competitive to the point you went in.
I went all in.
You cooked really, really good.
I went
you were ready
in.
Because one of your raps, you even said it. How can you talk about rappers that Menace is not part
It's not on
Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after this.
So let's watch The Real Talk with Aline TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Aline Keister.
Welcome back to Real Talk Show with Aline. Of course, if you just walked in, guess who's in the building? Menace Da-General. My dearest gift, MDG. Mr. Formula, the rapper. I like that. That's your slogan. I don't say Menace did not be song. Exactly. You know, I mean, Tentere, like, you know, it's your thing.
Yeah.
Did you just get up one day and started just doing it?
Man.
Because I remember when you small, when you get into trouble, now you say,
you do bad. Until you don't broke the window.
Yes.
Mama, they kind of host for you. Yeah.
So how were you able to just kind of bring it into your music?
Into my music, I still remember the story. So it's from my first album. I was recording One Man Gang. It started off on One Man Gang. So that's why if you listen to that entire album, the first time you hear Tenten was on One Man Gang, and then the rest of the song, you know, followed. So I was recording with a Cameroonian dude, Walter. Big up to Walter, by the way. He was my engineer back in those days, you know. And then we were recording, so I was just spitting, and the verse just sounded so dope. And then I'm in the studio in the booth, you know. And then I'm feeling myself like, yeah, Tenten, you know.
Yeah.
But he was still recording. So I came out, and then he replayed it. And then I heard the Tenten, and he was like, because he's Cameroonian, he thought it was part of the verse. Like, yeah. So he was like, that sound dope, you know, the 10-10. I'm like, Walter, that's not supposed to be on the record. And then he's like, dude, I don't know what that means, but it sounds dope. So we started playing around with it, 10-10, and then it became my entire slogan. But like you say, you know, 10-10 means, you know, like the man is here, 10-10.
And you're here.
You know,
MDG.
y'all are in trouble. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all are in trouble.
Yeah.
By Menace Da-General. Besides the music, right?
Yeah.
You're a humanitarian. That's one thing I like about you. The fact that,
Thank
you know, regardless of the fact that, you know, your music wasn't really popping at the time.
Yeah.
But whenever it comes to helping people,
Yeah.
you were there.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You flew to Sierra Leone a couple of times.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it?
Yeah. Well, to begin with, I am a Sierra Leonean. You know, I come from a third world country, underdeveloped. You know, I know my background. You know, in life, you got to know where you're coming from in order to get to your final destination.
Right.
So, my roots is not, you know, my background is not the best place in the world. So, I was given an opportunity to, you know, migrate to the Western world, you know, where life was better for me and my family. But I cannot forget where I come from, you know. So each time, you know, I think of back home, I think of giving back. I don't have it, you know, but it's just a gesture. It's the idea, you know, of helping, giving a helping hand. And I feel like that's the only way we can fix and build our nation, you know. If we all just start thinking of doing the small favors and you know, giving the minor helps here and there, you know, Sierra Leone can be 10 times of a better, you know, place to live than, you know, what we have now. Not to say, you know, it's the worst, but obviously it can be better. So that's where my spirit of giving comes from. But my parents always tell me, you know, they always tell me that it was actually a part of me. I grew up that way, which I don't know. They said when I was younger, you know, if they buy me stuff, the first thing I would do is go share with my friends, you know.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, well, it came from somewhere. Because it's just that feeling of giving, you know.
So you're not doing it for the hype?
Oh, no. Far from it.
Because a lot of people are doing it just for the hype.
Just for that, you know, far from it. And like I say, you know, with me, you know, it's all about, it's the idea, you know. I love motivating others to do good.
Okay.
You know, because that's again, it's a no-brainer. It's just, you know, common sense. You know, there's good, there's evil. You know, if we all do a little good, you know, it's contagious. The next person follows and it keeps going, you know. Okay. So there's no hype in it, you know. Even when I released my first album, you know, part of that campaign when I went back home was I have my own foundation, by the way. It's called Book and Pen Foundation. Book and Pen, okay. Yeah. So I'm a huge advocate for education. So what I did was I bought a bunch of school materials, from books, pens, you know, not just me. I you know, was doing fundraising in the community, in the DMV community, you know. So we filled up an entire barrel of books, pens, pencils, you know, and I took them back home and I did a couple workshops in different schools in the area. Okay. You know, and that was just, again, the idea of giving, you know, and advocating for education, because I do feel like that's another thing that needs to be strengthened in Sierra Leone, you know, the education part. The education part.
Because, yeah, definitely. And I know the current government is working on that as well. We are doing our part in a little way. Definitely. You know, so that's really great, you know, for a rapper. Of course, you're educated. Yeah. You know, so it's really good coming from you. Definitely. Relationship with other artists. Yeah. I know you were struggling with that as well. Yeah. You didn't have a good relationship at all. Yeah. People thought you were just like really cocky. I know you were the beast. Yeah, like you said, I'm coming to all of that. Yeah. You know, but however, you know, for someone, especially the Sierra Leonean industry, it doesn't matter if you're in the diaspora or not. Right. You know, that relationship with each other is very important.
Very, very important, yeah.
Everybody's complaint with Menace was, oh, Menace is very cocky. Menace, when I talk to Possin, you were just blasting everybody and things like that. Have you been able to manage that situation with these artists you had issues with?
It's fun.
Even you and LJ had to beef for something at some point.
And then all of a sudden, shout out, Roger.
And all of a sudden there was this song. I'm like, what the hell? What are these boys doing?
And that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Are you able to manage these relationships now? It seems like you're more mature now.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I'm a very nice person. I swear to God. You know, it's just misunderstanding. I think I'm too straightforward for my own good. And that's what I tell people all the time. I'm just too straightforward. If you tell me A, I'm going to take your word for it. If you tell me B, I'm going to take your word for it. You know, even if you have the words to tell me, just let me know. So that has always been my issue with people. But over time, like you said, you know, I come to the realization that we're only humans. You know, no one is perfect. You know, and I learn how to decipher, you know, folks that I want to work with and folks that I can have potential, you know, drama with down the road. So it became easier for me to maneuver, you know, because I'm a people person. You know, I give my all. When I make friends, I'm a loyal friend, you know. When I say I'm down for you, I'm down for you. So anything on the other side of the fence, you know, that comes my way, I take it personal, you know. So I had to learn how to deal with that, you know.
So what really happened that made you get into all of that drama?
Yeah, so like for example, just a few examples. I don't think it's just a few artists, honestly. But it's a boys' game, you know. It's a boys' thing. I know that at some point people thought that I had a big beef, like you mentioned, my brother LJ. You know, we grew up in the same camp, and that's why we laugh at people. I'm like, this man, we grew up together, you know, sleeping on the floor, recording music with your tandem, you know. But we were much younger, and then when you are young at that stage, there's a bunch of ego, there's a bunch of, you know, everyone thinking they're the, you know. But then over time, I think on my part, it was just, I thought y'all are my people, my boys, you know, regardless of status, you know, we should still, you know, but it wasn't much so us. I think it was just the fans too that create this tension. And that's another thing with Sierra Leone music that made me, you know, that's why I took a break, because the people themselves, and it goes back to knowledge, you know, they tend to misconstrue a lot of things, you know. They take music like it's war, thinking
they take it seriously.
Thinking if you support artist A, you have to be beefing with artist B. That don't make no sense to me. So I never understood that. You know, everyone having their cliques, you know, you go out, you perform, and this person would not move. And then when the next, you know, it's like, it was funny because music is supposed to unite, not divide, you know?
Right.
So that's where all my drama was coming from. I'm like, this is nonsense. Like, this don't make no sense at all. I'm not down for this, you know? I'm all for, if you dope, you dope. If your music is good, it's good. You know, let the fans decide.
Right.
I'm going to rap, you rap, let the people clap regardless. Don't tell them, yo, you stop. When he's doing this thing, I'm not for that, you know.
So the fact that, you know, like you mentioned earlier, you guys came from the same camp, right?
Yeah.
I know, because I was here with you guys and stuff like that. And then he blew the way he blew. Did you ever at one point feel like that could have been me?
Oh, no, never.
Okay.
There's always, obviously, this competitive spirit that we can't ignore. You know, there's this feeling of, oh, man, okay, how can I? Because if you think about it, for when it goes back to my boy LJ, when LJ released his first album, it was 2009, and then I came in 2010. So there was no beef there because we both were doing good. He was doing good, I was doing good, you know. But besides that, even, you know, you mentioned when LJ came out of jail, you know, back in 2017, I believe, we got straight to work. We did an entire album. You know, it was never released because, you know, again, you know, due to some, you know, few circumstances. Again, not us. Again, sometimes it's the people around, you know, that can start tension and things go sour, you know. But again, you know, I have a very good relationship. I know it's a misunderstanding and people have misquoted me a lot, you know.
Right.
And it goes down.
That's the image. Like,
this image, issues, you know, they're thinking.
Like
but
that.
then it's funny when they get to know me, because I remember there was one time, my boy Uzi, right? So Uzi came to visit me in Virginia, and then he's like, Menace, I need to record a song. So I had just started doing sound engineering. So I said, yeah, come through. So he came, I recorded the song, you know, we had a good time. And it's like, I gotta confess, you know, I gotta tell you something. It's like, do you know people in Maryland and around don't really mess with you? They think you're the worst. And then he was laughing. It's like, because you're the opposite of what I've heard. You know, you're funny, you're a goof, you joke around, you don't, you know, I'm like, that's because they don't know me, you know, and it's, you know, it's just bad reputation. Like, one person say this and it keeps going, you know, and it tarnishes your reputation, you know. And me being me, I don't go out too much, you know. I'm in my own little corner, you know. So when you don't hear it from me, you think what people are saying is the fact, you know.
The fact.
So it wasn't
now you're
really
really showing yourself.
Yeah.
We had a conversation when I met you at a cookout,
Yeah.
but I'm going to talk about it when we get back. Don't go anywhere because I'll be back after this.
So let's watch the Real Talk with Eline TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Eline Keister.
We're still here. Of course, if you just walked in, this is Real Talk with Eline TV show, and I have Menace Da-General. Yes, I am here in the DMV. I'm coming home. I'm bringing him with me to do a formula show in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we went on the break, right? I mentioned this conversation we had at the cookout. Of course, we talked about the struggles in the industry. Your music wasn't really making it out there. And I remember you said to me, that's how I knew the maturity, came in, because you said to me, people are saying they don't have my songs. Now I'm walking around with my song on a stick, so you cannot. And I was sitting there like, oh my God. Now he's getting it. He's not sitting there thinking people are going to come to you to get your products. You're actually saying, you know what, I'm ready to give that product out.
Yeah.
Is that all part of the growing up?
Yeah.
All part of that break that you took. You kind of realize that, you know what, I'm not going to take things personal anymore.
Exactly.
Because that's what it was with you. You were taking everything personal.
That was it.
So now you actually walk around with you.
Yeah, I work, man.
So if you see him, don't say you don't
hustle.
have his songs at all, because he has it with them.
It's always with me. I got it in the studio right now, you know.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So I'm going to get an official copy?
Of course.
All right. It's not even on the CD like that, but he's going to sign it because I'm going to take it back with me.
Definitely.
Besides that, if people want to listen to your songs, are you online?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing Sierra Leoneans is struggling with. You know what I mean? Not every song is online.
That's
true. You hear it at a party, you try to pull it up, and it's not.
It's not
So
on there.
even when I'm out there talking to people, oh, this personality gets so, they'll be like, I'll go look for a song, I don't see it online.
That's true.
Menace, because you're here.
Yeah.
Are your songs available online?
Yeah. So this album was the first album that I actually worked on delivering in a professional manner. So it's on, I'll say almost every digital platform. Okay. It's on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, all these platforms. And then I actually uploaded it on, I don't think a lot of Sierra Leoneans know that yet. It's on, what's it called? AudioMac.
AudioMac, okay.
Yeah, so it's on there. So it's available, all the songs, 28 tracks, And then the videos, I have a bunch of videos. So that's one of the things that I did that helped me with this promotion for this album. So what I did was I, reinforced it with a lot of visuals, and
because visual does so.
It really does, So I had went back home before releasing the album. I was back home for like 4 months, and I shot over 10 music videos, So and then came back,
So how many videos have you released so far?
So I have, believe it or not, over 11 to 12 music videos released in the past year to a year and a half. Yeah.
Why so much though?
Yeah, well, it's just given, I'm just trying to be as consistent as I can, because that was another thing that people, that affected me. It's not just people, because the fans want to see, just like you mentioned, if you want to be in the topic, you got to stay relevant,
Right.
And with me, I want to stay relevant with my sound, not for anything else. I want people to know that I'm releasing stuff. But even at that, it was still hard. And that's how I know that the music industry is still growing. We're still kind of struggling because even with that much work that I was putting out, not every, I don't expect everyone to know that Menace is releasing something because sometimes it's based on your fan base as well. I don't have the strongest media presence or the strongest fan base online.
Online, right.
So not everyone knows. Even up to now, there are videos that I released over 8 months ago that I will reshare on my pages. And people will go, oh, this is new, this is dope. And I'm just, in my head, I'm like, this has been out for the longest time, So all that goes back to the industry,
But what are you going to do to push the videos, though? Sometimes it's not really so much about the industry. People don't really share things if you don't really send it to them.
Send it, that's true.
What you trying to do with the audio? Is that what you're trying to do? What
With
are
the
you going to do
video.
with the video?
Yeah.
Because you really have to just push it.
That's what I actually need to do, So go extremely, ham with the videos like I'm doing with the audios, whatever strategic ideas I got to come up with to, disperse these videos out there in the streets, in every corner, and also obviously with the local TV stations, I have quite a good relationship with some of them, like AYV and SLBC, Star TV. Shout out to my boy HK, by the way. So when I was shooting the videos, HK was a big help, back home, and so we're trying to do all that, with the TV stations, but it's one step at a time,
Okay, but you're getting there, little by little. With everything that have happened with you right now, with the big show, with the formula, you can only go up from there, right?
Yeah.
We need that. How prepared are you? What are you going to do to keep up? Because you cannot go down. If you go down, I swear, man. I don't even know. But what are you planning to, not even about formula anymore. It is about formula. How big you want to take the formula as far as the brand?
Yeah.
And when are we expecting new songs from you?
So here's the crazy thing, my archive is crazy, and people, I think one of two of my producers that I work with can attest to the fact that I never stop working. Okay. When I tell people sometimes that if they want me to release a new song every week, I can do that for the next 4 years, because that's how much music I have in my archive. Okay. I with this formula album, I had to cut down what I have in quarters just so I picked out the best to put on a compilation, and it still came up to 28 songs. So with the music, there's no doubt that I have way more music coming. I'm still creating, Okay. So now it's just keeping up with the strategy, keeping up with, the market and the publicity, and I have the brand now, that's been helping, and definitely it's a lot of pressure, like you say. People are watching, and again, I'm only human. I can't sit here and beat my chest and say, oh, I'm about to do A, B, and C. I'm just really hoping that God continue to, bless me with the strength. And just like I sang in the album title record Formula, it's my passion and my courage that got me here. Right. Because I've been professionally in the Sierra Leone music game for over 10 years, and I still feel like I just came yesterday. That's how I'm moving. Even when I'm listening to myself, I'm like, there are days when I'm amazed at what I'm doing, So it's not just me, it's a blessing, So, and I pray to just keep growing, Right.
Well, I wish you good luck with everything that you're doing,
Thank you.
But let's go to Menace Da-General, because we know menace to society. We know what menace is.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Menace Da-General?
Yeah. So my real name is Dennis,
Okay.
And obviously, so there's this movie titled Dennis the Menace, a young bad boy, very bad. Obviously the word menace itself, means, a threat. It has a negative connotation to it, so it's not the best name for someone. Okay. But Menace, Dennis was my real name, so my friends started calling me Menace, and it started off actually with Tete. Okay. I remember when we were at Cat House back in the days, Tete was the one that started calling me Menace, and then that stuck. And then down the road, when I released my first album, I'm just always fascinated with military, stuff, so I added the general to it, Okay. So it was Menace, Dennis the Menace, and then I added the general, But then still growing up, maturing in the game, I still now sitting here talking to you, it's not my best choice of a name for for who I represent and what I stand for, because there are times when I go, my name is Menace, and they go, that don't, because when you think of the meaning of menace, but then I always flip it, because I'm slick with words like that. I'm like, look, I'm not a threat to anyone. I'm a threat to injustice and other things, so I find ways to make it sound good. Okay. But I always hate having to explain myself. So that's where MDG came in, and I had to find my dearest gift. I had to find a new meaning for the acronym MDG, and then that's how I created My Dearest Gift. And My Dearest Gift is arts and entertainment, music and arts. That's what the gift is,
Na Menace Usabi. Menace
Da-General. Menace Da-General.
So it's
and
all
that's not going anywhere. I know that for a fact. Even if I call myself Abu Big Foot tomorrow, nobody knows answer. Na Menace Usabi.
All right, cool. So before we go, I just want to say, what's up with this new thing?
The new look, yeah.
Every artist got their own swag going on.
Yeah, man.
And I realized, at the show,
yeah,
I was like, okay.
Yeah, man.
And then now you're here rocking it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like part of your.
It's gonna be part of me. Yeah. So this is a part of me now.
Okay.
So I actually adopted this. It's not something that I created. Obviously, everyone knows what a beret is,
Okay.
And it's funny because the general, I'm always, that military mindset, anyways, So it just fits my entire look. But it's inspired by Bobby Wine, the Ugandan activist. I just love everything about him. And plus, he used to be he still is an artist that's trying to make a big change, in his country, third world country, fighting for, justice and betterment of, Uganda. So that was it was just an absolutely amazing thing to watch this young man, that's about my age, doing all this, taking, this entire nation upon, his shoulder,
okay.
just to make a change, So I was inspired by that. And, one of his signatures, rocking the beret. And I actually bought the beret and the patch separately. So I had to go online and do my research about the Pan-African movement. And the colors are red, black, and green. And then there's a fist in the middle, obviously, Black Power. So it's a Pan-African movement. And I just, hope that most, artists in Africa understand that they have a duty, not just making music, but standing up for what's right, So that's me,
That's what you represent.
That's what this represents.
I want to wish you all the best, Keep being an inspiration to a lot of people. Keep giving.
Thank you.
Of course, it's a good thing coming from you.
Thank you.
And that's it. You can only go up, up,
Yes, ma'am.
up.
Thank
I
you.
have a gift for you. No one lives my side without getting a really nice gift from me to you.
Yay.
With love.
Thank you. I was waiting
Take
on that.
it, run with
Special
it.
gift
You know
from
what I'm saying?
Ellen.
And my formula t-shirts, I want a lot of them.
For sure. I
All right.
got you.
I don't want to
Thank
go,
you.
but I got to go. It's been fun. It's been really, really cool. I'm here with the general. But till next week, peace.